Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Welcome back to the show. Kay Ashbridge joining us. She's the owner of Mystique Expanding Heart Tarot. Yes, she is excited to be here. So are we to have her back here from Nevada to talk more about what she does at Expanding Heart Tarot. And really, it's her dream space. She's helping so many people where, you might be out there with questions like we have today. And let me first and foremost have her introduce herself. Go ahead.
Hi, thanks, Jill. I'm Kay Ashbridge, like Jill said, with Expanding Heart Tarot. And I'm a lifelong tarot enthusiast, studier, and teacher. So I've been putting myself out there the last 7 or 8 years and really gaining some good traction. And today we're going to do some numerology. We're going to talk about numerology and actually look at some life path destiny numbers.
And I'm excited that you want me to be a part of it. And I'm definitely willing to play here, and everything's on the table. So thank you for involving me and asking me. I'm really, looking forward to this. So just want to remind everyone, just a little bit about your background and what it is you do. And then we'll get into today's topics and start the wheels turning. Thank you.
You can find me on expandinghearttarot.com. And I do tarot readings, not really exactly just for prediction that comes in, but really energy work, like what's going on around your energy fields, what's going on in your aura and these subtle bodies that layer our physical body. So I have a way of tapping into that and helping people kind of a lot of things. We can move through shadowy times when we're going through our dark night of the soul or some kind of realignment of our psyche. We can do a lot of energy work having to do with when people are trying to manifest or change their mindset. So I really have a lot of different avenues and modalities that I can use to help people kind of hone in on areas where they're looking for more insight. I get a lot of these kinds of questions. Things are going okay in my life, but I just feel empty, or I'm just not able to connect with, this higher self that I keep hearing about. Or people come to me with a lot of stress and wanting to know how to kind of overcome daily overwhelm. And of course, people have a lot of questions about what's going on in the world around them and how they can navigate challenging times. So anywhere from career and work questions to love questions to general what's going on in the world, what's going on with me, how do I fit in? Oftentimes we just kind of unfold layers of becoming and their own spiritual awakenings. I can help people make sense out of what's going on with them, especially if it has to do with something in the spiritual realm that they really don't understand.
Got it. Well, I know today we're going to talk a little bit about your life path destiny number. We're going to get into how numerology works and the science behind that. So I'm excited for this. And by the way, at the end of the show, we will open up the phone lines today. If you have any questions, 631-307-4010. That's 631-307-4010. But for now, let's start with the science of numerology. Could you share a little bit about that?
Yeah. So there are a couple different types of numerologies. I won't get into all of them, but the numerology that I really lean into, that I've studied, is the Pythagorean method. So Pythagora, he lived during like 500 years before Christ, and he was a philosopher, a mathematician, and an astronomer. And what Pythagora found through his different modalities was he had a belief that numbers had magic and that numbers really vibrate in specific types of energies. And so when we're looking at numerology, the way that I do it is take your birthday, month, and year, add those up, reduce it to a single digit. Okay. So the theory is, the science is that when we're born, the cosmos are in a certain pattern. So we come into this plane, into this incarnation. The cosmos are in a certain type of pattern. And whatever that life path number
Oh,
that we come into, it resonates with a kind of vibration
gotta write
that can
this down.
help us understand the
Okay.
gifts and challenges in this lifetime. So you kind of have to play along with, we choose to come into this incarnation to have an experience.
Wow. And we all
And
have a certain life path number. Could we have the
mhm,
same life path number though as someone else?
yes, we sure
Okay.
can. We sure can.
Okay.
So the life path numbers in this method are 1 to 9. And 1
Oh,
through 9, or 9 back to 1, neither number, no, numbers are not better or lesser than each other. They're
it's
just
just
different.
different. Okay. Okay. I'm writing, taking
Mm-hmm.
my notes. Go ahead.
Yep. So So what we're going to do is look at your life path number, Jill, and what gifts and challenges you might find as you are emanating the vibrations of that number. And then we'll just talk about it. Then we will look at that number through the eyes of tarot and look at some symbology and some archetypes to get further into this. So now I'm going to share this with the audience so they will see that you are born on so the 10th of January,
Mhm.
1978.
Yeah.
So we add that and then we add the numbers together and we add those
Wow.
numbers. We get 27 and we add 2 and 7 and that gives us a 9.
Oh,
Okay? So the number 9 has a specific vibration around integrity and inner knowledge. So, and you can tell me if this is correct as we go, or you can say, wait, that doesn't sound like me.
okay.
So let's
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of get into
yeah.
this.
So
So,
integrity
and
and inner knowledge, you said?
inner knowledge, a number
Inner
9
knowledge.
vibrates with the urges and impulses to know thyself.
Okay.
So a 9 can be someone who typically wants to spend time within to get to know themselves. And 9s can sometimes kind of be introverted and go within and do a lot of soul
Soul
searching.
searching. Yeah, I was just gonna say that
Yep,
word. Hmm.
soul searching, kind of trying to figure out the answers, the big answers to life itself. And 9s typically resonate with a real comfort of going within. There's a solitariness that 9s usually enjoy, and that is where typically a 9 will recharge themselves by going within and finding the quiet within. Then once they recharge themselves, they're ready to come back out into the world and give. And typically 9s have a good amount of intuition. Does any of this resonate with you?
Yes, yes, totally. I mean, when you mention comfort of going within, right? That's I do that all the
Mm-hmm.
time. I'm always internally talking to myself and I feel like I get the answer from within, which I think makes me intuitive as to what I know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no way intuitive like UK that way, but I do feel like, my mom's birthday was yesterday. She passed away 8 years ago, right? So I go within, I have a conversation with her in my head in the morning and talking, and then the day just becomes amazing. And I'm like, there's reasons, and I just feel I wish you were here, but I understand. And like, I kind of like have conversations with myself. And you're right by going in, it's like I just wrote the words down. I'm like self-charging myself. But I feel like I'm like a self-charger. Yeah. I don't
Mm-hmm.
go, I'm not the type of person to pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm having this problem to my friend and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. What do you think? I don't talk to anyone. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I keep things within and I converse with myself. And I totally think that is spot on. I do. I
And
do.
9s are very much givers. 9s
Oh,
love to assist others.
you said that and spot on because I give to the point where there's a lack of self-care and self-love at times because I do so much, for not even just my children now for the past 10 years, which I've learned to do, but my family, my friends. If someone needs
Hmm.
something, I'm that person. I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I will
Yeah.
never back out. I will never cower down, and I will make it happen because I believe in, and I like people in my life who are true to their word. And to me that is just so important. So I'll give what I can, I'll say what I can, and I will commit to it because I just find that to be so important to me. I like people who say what they mean and do what they say. And it doesn't have to be something big, but like, hey,
Yeah.
you're going to show up for me? Yeah, I'm going to show up. You need me to take your son to basketball next week? I got him. Don't worry. I like being that person, like a rock that people
Yeah.
can rely on because I didn't have
Right.
much of that in my life. So I'm that way now. And I just see how it means a lot to people. I've always wanted that. And there's a few in my life now, but not as much. But I enjoy being that person because I know the feeling of wanting to help and maybe you can't and yeah, I just giving. Yes, I'm a giver.
Giving. And that speaks to
Giving
that
tree.
integrity.
Yes.
Yeah. And that is an internal gift, really,
Yep.
to give of
Uh-huh.
yourself, to have that integrity. And you know, along with that, when we talk about the gifts, there's always, you know, the challenges. And nines have a challenge that has to do with perfection. So so nines, while they are very giving and even very, very much giving the benefit of the doubt to most others, nines hold themselves to a really high standard. And
Too high.
typically a nines will hold others to a high standard, but a nine will let someone slide again and again and again until they won't. And when a nine says no, that's it.
I'm very forgiving in so much in my life to people in my life. I do, and I let people back in, and I do. You're right. Once I'm done, I'm done. But I always give second, third chances. That's me. And speaking about being a perfectionist, yes, everything has to be done like a certain way to this point where it's a little OCD in my life of
Mm-hmm.
I need the kitchen to be this way. I need to have you can't wear your shoes in my house. To me, that's being perfectionist. 'Cause I want everything perfectly clean and I have to have this. And to the point where it gives me my own anxiety, my own downfall. So I'm not saying it's a great thing to be a perfectionist because there's positive and
There's no
negative
such thing
every
as
type of
perfection.
per, it, I know, but I strive high. I learned that from my mother and I see how it
Yeah.
wore her down. I'm like, I can't believe I become the same creature. But yes, yes,
And having that self awareness and that self knowledge, Jill, that can help you when you go within and it's really comfortable and you'd really rather not come out. That can help you come out because every time you go within, you realign, you learn those lessons, you kind of initiate yourself, you come back out, experience it. When it's time, you go back within. And that is a really interesting thing about nines. In my experience, I've not read this in a book, but in my experience, nines typically are not vampires. You know, I mean, all of us have a way of taking energy from others.
yeah,
It just happens.
hmm,
Nines typically just don't do that.
yep,
You know, they just
yeah.
typically, they'll give their energy, but they're not seeking to take energy from others. And that's not really a bad thing, but I like to give you permission to pick up the phone and tell your friend, I kind of need somebody's shoulder or somebody's ear. You know, just give me a minute to vent or get it off my chest. That's okay. You can ask people, they would probably be happy to do that for you because as a nine, you probably do that for many people in your life. You're the
I
one that
do.
answers the call. You're the
I
one they call when they
do.
need to be boosted.
I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, and there's actually, oh, go ahead, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm not paying attention to the clock, but I do
Okay.
want to look at the number nine in the tarot, in the tarot's major arcana, and that is the hermit. Now, can you see that image?
Well,
This is,
I don't know much about this. You do, but I'm thinking a hermit crab, like likes being alone. Does that have any resonating with
the
that or no? What's the hermit?
hermit is the wise old soul, the old
Okay.
sage that goes up to the mountain on high to contemplate life and that's the metaphor, but that means they're going within to contemplate their
Oh,
life and their place in life and find the spiritual meaning, connect the dots. And so when you're looking at this particular image, you see that this hermit is standing in the snow up on a
Uh-huh.
mountain. They've got a yellow staff. That staff, yellow, represents how we move ourselves around in the world, in the outer world. The gray of the cloak, that represents our inner world, and that there's a lot of life going on in the inner world of a hermit. And
Wow.
then you see the lantern the hermit is holding out in front of him. It's not so much for the hermit. That lantern represents sharing with others, sharing the information, the insights, the experiences, because
Okay.
a nine naturally leads by example. Nines are typically referred to as old souls. Nines have a kind of a nobility in their presence. Nines can be very self-controlling. Like nines can master their own emotions to a point where they can hold them in
Hence, people
too
tell me I'm
much.
cold as ice sometimes and I have no emotion. And I'm like, no, I'm just realistic. I know, like, it's okay. Like, my mom passed away and I'm like, I have to do her hair and makeup. And they're looking at me like, you're going to go touch your mother? I said, yes, of course. I said, that's my mother. That's her shell. I'm emotional. I miss my mom, but I'm going in, I'm doing her makeup and I'm going to do her wig. And because I got this. Like, yeah. So I could totally see people say that about me. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And in my experience, nines don't have a big fear of death.
No.
There's that seeking of the unknown and a real kind of fascination with esoteric, which just means secrets, hidden knowledge. And
Hmm.
but nines also really are, they love life. They love life, and they can be more of observers rather than in there in the action.
Got it.
So, but you're in a public role, so you're very much in the action, and you're also, as a nine, pretty much called to be of service, and that's like your generous nature to help others.
Yeah, I am. Absolutely. I love helping. I do. You have it described to a T, and I do love life. Oh my gosh. I'm a big life lover, and I love doing everything, experience everything, and doing just living each day to the fullest. I believe in that. I pride myself on that with my children. I try telling them, explaining them, and I like going everywhere and trying to do everything, even if it's a trip to the supermarket. It's going to be a fun one. We're going to live it to the fullest. We're going to learn something today. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So you notice that when we came to the number nine, we had a two and a seven. So we added that two and seven. Well,
Yes.
the aspects of two, that vibration is really about balance. And the balance
Hmm.
is inner and outer, as
Yeah.
within, so without. So the number nine coming from a two and a seven, really there's a lot of juggling to find just that right balance. So nines are always, as a two, seven, nine, you'll always be doing this,
Yeah.
balancing your actions with your feelings, your motivations with your desires. So there's always a constant recalibration that a nine coming from a two seven goes through. And then the seven part, the seven adds a lot of activity and change in motion. So the seven, that represents movement within the universe and change within that movement. And then that two having balance. And then
Wow.
you're a nine. So you've really got a lot going on.
Yes. Oh my, I call it like ADHD, but I'm always good to handle it. But by the way, just want to let you know, phone lines are open in case anyone wants to call 631-307-4010, 631-307-4010 in the meantime, but as we continue the discussion. But thank you so much, Kay. Can I ask you personally, what number are you?
I am a seven.
Okay. And
Yeah.
tell me, what is a seven? Just curious what that's about.
Well,
I know.
this could help you because you come to a two seven. A seven is like what I said, really has to do a lot with energy and motion, change in motion, lots of activity in the life of a seven. Sevens are usually kind of, I wouldn't say in the spotlight, but they have a lot of attention on them.
Hmm.
And the seven in tarot is represented by the chariot. And the
Oh,
chariot is in motion, moving forward. So it is energy in motion. And the challenges of a seven are how do you process change? How do you go through change,
Okay.
keeping an equilibrium?
Wow.
Right? A lot of people have a real hard time with change, and some
Okay.
people kind of love change, right?
Yeah.
So
Wow.
if anyone out there would like to spend some time with me and go through a life path destiny reading, it takes about an hour, and it's a lot more in depth than this, but this is a taste of it. And you can go to my website, Expanding Heart Tarot, and go to book a session. And that'll take you to the page that has all of my different services. And this particular one is the life path destiny number. So that life path destiny number, that 9, that carries you through your life. That's your number.
Got it.
Okay, it doesn't change, but we do have a year path number. And so, since your birthday's January, it's really interesting to look at what your year path is. And
Oh.
we do basically the same math, but in this one, we don't reduce it. So, your
Oh.
year path number is 11. And
Oh.
11, right? 11 is kind of a magical angel number, especially if
Oh.
you see the 1111 or
Yeah.
111. That when you see 11, think of that. Your mom, your angels, your guides are probably just giving you a little
A little
notice. Hey,
sign, a little, hey, I'm
mm-hmm,
here. Mm-hmm.
it truly is a sign, and you are in an 11 year, and that 11 has to do with balance and any bringing in the energies of dark and light into the center.
Wow.
So, and in an 11 year, it also has to do with karma. And karma not as a judgment or a punishment, karma as the effect of the consequences of the effects that we ourselves made. So I'm going to show you in tarot, the number 11 is represented by the justice card. And so you see this person
Like a
sitting on a
judge?
throne, like a judge, and they've got a sword up in one hand, they've got scales in the other hand. And so this justice, it's not judgment, it's justice, right action.
Wow.
And there's a dark pillar and a light pillar, and the key to the justice card is to bring yourself in the center, not go too far leaning, you
Mm-hmm.
know, happy unicorn, or too far, in the black scary realm, but staying
Mm-hmm.
in a center balanced realm where you are seeing the good and the bad, and you're bringing it together with what matters to you.
Wow.
What is your truth? What how can this help you, or how can you choose, oh, that's not for me,
Got it.
right? So another thing about the 11 card in justice being a karma card, this is your year card. So Jill, in a justice year, there's a lot of I call it right action happening. So things that may have felt like unfinished business, things that never got tied up and completed, they tend to come back to us in an 11 year, because the universe doesn't like an incomplete circle. So it's going to bring back patterns that maybe you didn't get to complete, or maybe injustices that happened in your life, and now karma comes back and sets it straight.
And when you say
So,
in like this year in a sense, are we talking like 2025 year is
yep,
what we're talking about?
yep,
Interesting. I feel like I'm
yep.
finally getting some more stuff done around the house. I've had piles forever and I'm so frustrated and angry, but lately I've been getting stuff done. I feel like it's a okay, I have trouble getting things done because I'm so busy with the kids and I feel like I have a room that's full of junk and I need to get rid of it and stuff in the hall. My Christmas decorations, I'm finally putting them away. Normally they'd be lagging until the fall. Like, okay, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. All right, thank
So
you.
you're feeling really motivated to tie things up,
I am
to
feeling motivated.
to complete things. And Jill, everything happens energetically first. So as this year was coming on, you probably started getting those motivations, and it's going to carry through the rest of this year.
Oh, thank
And
God.
what you're doing is you are creating that right action. Think about
Creating
feng
action. Yep.
shui. right? And
Ah,
how feng
yes.
shui helps the energy move. In
Mm-hmm.
the year of an 11 vibration, you're going to be bringing things into the center. So things that you might push aside and not look at, they're going to be popping right up in front of your face
I
because
have to
it's
deal
the
with
year
them.
to deal with them. Take care of it.
Year
Get it
to
done.
deal, year to care. Thank you so much. This has been so helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And I know this is what you do for so many people. And by the way, we have a caller. I'm so sorry if you, I know you've been
Okay.
waiting patiently. Hi, welcome to the show. What is your name?
Hi, I'm Carmen.
Hi, Carmen. You are live on the line today with Kay Ashbridge. Please say hello and ask any questions you may have. Thank you.
Hey,
Hi, Carmen.
this conversation is pretty interesting. Hi, how are you? I just
Great.
wanted to know how numerology would tie into my love life because I'm constantly seeing
Oh,
numbers, especially the number two.
you're seeing the number two a lot, huh? So, and
Yes.
that's a partnership number, right? What is your birthday? 19, 1 and 9 is 10. And that's a one. So your life path destiny number is one, Carmen. So, and just you can just write this down, 8, and then underneath it 26, 1984. Do the long old way math. You come to 1918. That's 10, 11, 19, 1 and 9 is 1. And so your number is the magician. The
Ooh.
magician in Tarot's major arcana is the number 1, and that's what you look like. That's what it looks like here. Now, the number 1, don't think like, oh, it's just a 1. I have so far to go. Ones are, like I said, there's no hierarchy in the 1 through 9.
Okay.
They just vibe differently. So a 1 is the vibration where there will be likely a lot of new opportunities throughout your life and changes. But you come into this life with everything you need, conveniently forget it so that you have to relearn it. And if you're thinking about how do I find a partner or love with numerology, I'm going through 2025 right here to see what this looks like for you. It ends up being that you are in a 16 year. So a year number we don't reduce down. We leave it that way because we're using tarot, we're playing along. Now, Carmen, the number 16 that would have started with your last birthday in August of 24 and will continue through your birthday August of 25, that card is the Tower. And now the Tower doesn't necessarily mean that it's a scary card, but it doesn't look really pretty. But let me explain what's happening in the vibe of a 16 number. You will be called to change things in your life, where you live, where you work, relationships you're in. The number 16 vibes with what is not working for you. Either the universe will knock it out of the way and you'll have to change, or you will become very conscious that this or that or the other thing has got to go, and you will create your tower moment. Now, a tower moment can have to do with letting go of the ego. A tower moment can be a dark night of the soul. And a tower moment can actually be waking up and saying, I'm giving my notice today, I'm taking another job. So a tower moment can be self-directed, or the universe can make it happen. And that's what a tower moment looks like. So these individuals are just the lightning hit and boom, they're being knocked off the tower, crowns coming off. That has to do with ego or illusion. So a tower year is really, really a good place to be in when you need to let go of things that no longer serve you or don't get you where you want. So, Carmen, if you're honest with yourself, do you need to make a few changes in your life to get to that new relationship?
Yes, I believe so.
Do you want to share any of that with us?
Um, I, 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 I'm very sabotaging in my relationships.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then that is a wonderful thing to know. When I was going through a lot of changes in my life, I was in my 20s and I was being so easily triggered. Yeah, I mean, I probably repelled a lot of good people because of my own actions. But when I realized that, I was able to catch myself. And I began to change my inner thinking, which changed my life. So I would say I was creating tower moment after tower moment for myself until I learned that they were patterns, and yes, they were self-sabotage. So when
Yep.
I decided
Mm-hmm.
to give myself grace and teach myself that I was worthy and start learning how to show self-love, I was able to create more beautiful moments and the triggers. I was able to control my emotions. And pretty soon, it's like,
Oh,
why did I even let something like that bother me? So it's a part of how we mature and grow. And it's a part of our spiritual awakening.
yeah.
So I think it's beautiful, Carmen, that you recognize that you have some self-sabotaging qualities. Do you,
Yes,
do you,
yes, I push people away a lot.
mhm. And then once we push someone away, and
Hmm.
we are introspective and honest, like, oh my gosh, I way overreacted, or I wasn't fair, or I was just hurt and it had nothing to do with that person. I was
Yeah.
reliving something
Mm-hmm.
from my head from years ago. You know, self awareness will really help you identify that behavior so that you can own it, accept it, integrate it into the rest of your being, and bring the light out. Because a lot of times we self sabotage because we are hiding our pain. We might think intellectually we want intimacy with someone, yet physically and emotionally, we don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Does that sound at all familiar?
yes.
Carmen, is she giving,
Well,
are you, she spot on here
Yes,
with your number, with
yes. She's
everything?
so spot on on
I know.
everything.
I know she, well, as you were listening, she was doing my number two. Wow.
Yeah.
so, Carmen, if you want to reach out personally, I'd love to, work with you individually. And I feel for you, and I really feel proud of you that you can admit I kind of have self-sabotaging actions, and I'd like to get a hold of that and stop. That's a beautiful place to be because you are you're capable of better and you deserve better. Yeah. So I really hope to hear from you. You know how to find me at expandinghearttarot.com, and I'll remember you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you
You're
so
so welcome.
much. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thanks for the call. Let me end that. And wow, thank you for being so spot on today. And thank you for my reading. I got my notes I'm going to go back to. And anything else that I need to know about my number and this year, this is 2025. I'm excited. I mean, I feel like I am getting stuff done and I want to. But anything else I need to know, if you don't mind me asking, since we're still on the line here?
Yeah, I would say for you, Jill, just really trust your intuition more.
Trust.
And your life is really busy. It's a little bit chaotic most of the time. However, just give yourself those few minutes every day where you just go inside and love yourself, tell yourself it's going to be okay, have that conversation with mom. She's got your back, you
Yeah.
know. And
Thank you.
I think you're doing great. I think you're doing great. So give yourself a lot of kudos.
Which I don't. Thank you so much. And thank
You're
you for the
welcome.
insight today. And I love how you were able to, kind of, it's basically like she demonstrated with me. And thank you for allowing me to be a guinea pig in a sense. But I love this stuff. And I was so honored that you asked to even have my birthday to do this. And I'm glad you got to help Carmen as well. And she could do this
Yeah.
for you too. This is awesome. Thank you so
That's what I
much.
do. You're
I
so
know.
welcome. It's my pleasure. You know what? I just love humans. I love humans. We're so interesting, and none of us are exactly alike. Whether you're a Capricorn and there's another Capricorn, or you're a life path number 9 and somebody else's, we are so unique. Not one of our fingerprints is the same as anyone else's. And our psychic imprints are also equally as unique.
Goosebumps. I got goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so
Mm-hmm.
much. We are out of time. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
We're over time, but I had such a great time. And one more time, tell us how we can reach you.
expandinghearttarot.com. I'm Kay Ashbridge, and I love to read for you. You can book online with me.
Absolutely. You can schedule that reading with her right there on her page. So definitely reach out, get your own life path reading as well with Kay. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great week, Jill.
You too, sweetheart. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.